Hey guys, this is Tyler here, and it is January. I'm going to discuss a big issue here, and this is it actually came up in some articles. You guys may have heard that Germany is actually going to be closing down a lot of people's accounts in American citizen accounts. These are people, American citizens, or that even just have green cards that have accounts in Germany, because the IRS, among other federal entities, is starting to really, as they have been, just continue to crack down on citizens, U.S. citizens having foreign bank accounts. And this is a big issue. I've spoken about foreign banking in previous videos and why I think it's really important that you open secondary accounts in other countries, and why it's going to become more critical in the future. Now, I saw a video pop up about this, and this actually does not surprise me at all. It also demonstrates to everyone where Germany stands politically speaking, and why they very much are not a great country for U.S. citizens for secondary bank accounts and for other business needs. Also remember that when all this social media, like this crackdown on Facebook and Twitter, all these people are getting their accounts banned, including President Trump, Germany, among all places, actually was one of the countries Chancellor Merkel had strongly expressed or discussed with this by these large tech companies. And it really shows you where the U.S. and how it's being looked at worldwide, and why in many areas it's being frowned upon as a country, whether it's in public areas or private corporations. Unfortunately, what happens often is that even though it has nothing to do with you as a person, these countries have to make decisions on a government level, and it's regarding other countries on a government level. It's not against you personally, it's how stuff is on a government, on a corporate level, or on a government level. It's not like against you per se, it's what they have to deal with system-wide. Remember that. If you're just dealing as an independent person, as an independent body, chances are they would have no problems with you. But what they're dealing with is the U.S. government or a U.S. corporation, which often can be a huge fiasco for these countries. But Germany is among other places that has just decided that for most cases, they're going to shut down accounts. U.S. citizens have to close accounts that they have, and I believe other countries will be doing the same, especially with this new presidential administration coming in. And it's just showing you where the tide is turning for the U.S. And this is all the reason though why you should get a new account open in a foreign country, especially in a non-CRS common reporting standard. Even a non-common reporting standard, you should look at alternative countries to open accounts, because what's going to probably happen is the list is going to become smaller and smaller. As the administration progresses, the way that the U.S. is going, and as bad as it's probably going to get, the countries are going to become less and less that won't deal with U.S. citizens and the government overhead that comes with that. And often what happens is that if you get grandfathered in many cases, you'll be fine. Not always. There are cases where, like in the case of Germany or other countries, where they still shut down accounts of people, foreign citizens. But in many cases, there are countries, especially if they're not part of a large federation, like in the case of Germany, one of the major member states of the European Union, it makes sense why one of the many reasons why they're not dealing with this U.S. anymore. It's one less headache. And if you find countries that are not part of large federations, I've spoken about like a place like Serbia or Belarus or Armenia, among other places, you could open an account and probably be fine, honestly. Even if they stopped opening accounts to U.S. residents or citizens, you would probably still be fine. You'd still be grandfathered in. And you really should look at doing it as soon as possible if you can. Unfortunately, often it means that you physically have to go to those countries and open it. And many of these places, they don't have an option where you can just do it via online system. They don't have that often. And so if you can try make it over to one of those countries and open an account or open a few accounts. And within this area, there's also different options. You can, if you're living there, you can certainly open even a business account as part of a corporation that's incorporated in that country, or open like an offshore trust account in one of those countries. In another way you can protect your wealth. I've spoken about offshore trust account in one of these countries. There's different options here, but the current system and where everything is going as it has been in the US is just becoming more and more strict on US citizens, and this is definitely a good time to go ahead and do this stuff while you can, because who knows, you could wake up and I would predict that by the end of this year many countries will have shut down this option for US citizens, and you will not be able to get in. And it's not saying that your money is totally safe in one of these foreign jurisdictions, but it's just one extra form of redundancy. And like I stated, you have an offshore trust. This is a very secure option, and this is very hard for other countries to get at, because this starts going into civil law matters. Internationally speaking, with civil law, it doesn't work the same way criminal law works. This is really important to understand. And this offshore trust account is under jurisdiction in most places of civil law. And civil law often does not apply internationally. Countries can't enforce these policies over their borders. And this is why it's a very secure option. So if you can, try open offshore bank account as soon as possible and have some options. So give me your feedback, and thank you.